As I ended the first video on this topic, I ended with the words, "So, make a change." And in no way did I mean to imply that that change was easy. Lord, no. In fact, sometimes certain changes, of course, can take years, maybe even decades, depending what our goals and aspirations are. Certain outward changes can take a long time. So of course it doesn't mean that it's easy. It just means that, are we dedicated? Are we willing to persevere? Are we clear enough on what it is that we really, really, really want? And what we say we really, really want? But of course, the first change, the most important change that we make is a decision. And interestingly, the word decision from the Latin means to cut from. Think of the word incision, to cut into, essentially. We have incision and then decision. So if you think of de meaning of or from, so a decision is to cut from. And when we make a decision, we cut ourselves off from another possibility at that time. So for example, when someone gets married, we would hope that in that commitment of marriage that there is a cutting off from seeing other people. One of the most important decisions that we can make, I believe, is relating to our mindset. And that mindset comes down to our ability to accept a situation, to tolerate it, to bear difficult circumstances, because of course anyone can endure good times. It takes a certain character and strength to be willing to endure uncertainty and ordeals. Our ability to endure and to withstand certain difficulties and uncertainties is also a part of our spiritual journey. So when I say accept, change, or leave, let me explain. By accepting a situation, we may come to realize that we're okay with the circumstances. By accepting a situation, it doesn't mean that it's ideal, it doesn't mean that it's what we want, but it means that we've let go of resistance, that we've either humbled ourselves or submitted to a realization that, okay, the road to change is a long and windy one. And so I accept where I am in the journey. That may be what it comes down to, is letting go of resistance, because it's the resistance where the suffering and the unhappiness really is. The next possibility is change, either changing ourselves or changing our circumstances. The next is, if we realize that we can't accept, we're struggling to accept what is, and we've tried to change ourselves in a variety of ways, as well as our circumstances, then we may realize that, okay, is there a way that we can leave the circumstances, as excruciating as that might be, whether it's changing where we live, might even involve changing states, changing countries, might involve changing ending a relationship. Whatever that change is, doesn't mean that it's easy. So the state of mind, choosing which state of mind that you're in, which stage that you're in, is really critical to this process of keeping your sanity on the way to making your life more of what you would like it to be. And so I've written down just a few additional thoughts that I think might be helpful on this topic. The difficulty of life is holding to our decisions and our commitments. Why? Because your decisions don't automatically create visible or outward results. Would you agree? We have to persevere to see things through. Just as planting seeds for a crop doesn't automatically mean ready to harvest. There's so much work that goes on in between planting and harvesting, and even preparing it for a meal or for the market. That may be another reason why we have that famous verse, where there is no vision, the people perish, and to hold fast that which is good. If you've made a decision about something that you want to create, hold fast to it. Don't let it go. Even though it may be a long time in the making, it's worthwhile. Don't let go. Another aspect of this is not taking things personally. You'll notice that when your self-esteem is lower, it's easier to take things more personally. When we're more confident, it acts more like a buffer, doesn't it? So give yourself grace. Be kind and understanding of yourself. Another key part of change is actually having a vision. And it's been said that most people don't plan to fail, but they fail to plan. There are a number of factors that can affect our ability and willingness to create a vision. Certainly our confidence and belief that change is actually possible. So creating a vision can take time. It requires energy, a degree of hope, and confidence in ourselves to actually follow through to create it. It requires perseverance and integrity to follow through. Each of these ingredients for creating a vision and having the confidence to follow through, they don't come automatically. Each of these ingredients are qualities of character. They're virtues that we develop over time. The idea of having a vision can sound easy, it can sound simple, but it's actually challenging for most people to really sit down and create a vision for their lives. Of course, it's also been a challenge for me over time. We actually have to labor and put in the time to develop these qualities, these ingredients, which over time we're able to put together, and gradually they put us on the fast track for the changes that we'd like to be able to make. Change still requires humility and detachment, particularly from outcomes. Otherwise, the dips and the disappointments along the way can interfere with our willingness to persevere, to hold fast to the goal, the ideal changes that we want to make. So another way to think about that is if you've invested in a stock, right, and your vision is to sell when it gets to a certain amount, of course that stock over time is going to do what? It's going to bounce around, and at times it's going to have huge dips, right? Of course, if you're confident where that stock is going to go, you're not so concerned about the ups and downs and the dips that it goes through, right? But of course, if you follow that stock on a daily basis for years, it could drive you mad with all of the changes, and it could cause an awful lot of doubt because of those dips. Or there's times where it could go so high that you feel anxious and want to sell. So part of that vision is also a time frame to hold fast, that despite the ups and downs, you have a vision, you have a plan, stay with it. Just like investing, good investors have a plan and they don't give in to emotion. If you become an emotional investor, that's not the best place to be. Woe unto thee who trades with emotion, right? Another important aspect of changes that comes to mind is that the changes and the ideals that you have over time may not manifest exactly as you have in mind. It's important to remember that change is dynamic and constant. And so those changes may not appear in the way that you imagined. The essence may be there. So the essence of the goal is there, just waiting for you to arrive to it. But just be detached, realizing that effort is up to us, outcomes are not. So sometimes the outcomes may manifest in unique ways that still can be satisfying and fulfilling. As it's been said, the summit is for the ego, the journey is for the soul. Problem solving is a part of the game of life. I prefer challenge solving since most people like a good challenge, one that enables them to see what they're made of and pushes them on to new levels of skill. If you're not happy with your life, which I know all too well, be patient and kind with yourself. Ease into one small decision after another, even as small as when to get out of bed, when to write out your desired goals and steps. Gradually, with better self-care, you help with the clarity and longevity to see more of your plans through to a better acceptance and enjoyment of a life you'll continue to create. It's all journey with occasional destinations. As you're on the journey of making these changes, please try to the best of your ability to enjoy the journey, starting today. My work and calling are dedicated to empowering individuals and couples into greater success, purpose, and true happiness in this life and beyond. In my 2+ decades doing this work, I've had the opportunity to work with thousands of people, including professional athletes and CEOs, as well as consulting work with organizations and schools. This channel, EQWise, is dedicated to help uplift the consciousness and well-being of humanity, one heart at a time. EQ is for emotional intelligence, which is far more important than IQ. WISE stands for wisdom, integrity, spirituality, and empathy. For more insights to empower your life with joy, purpose, and lasting success, please like and subscribe here to EQWise, where we dive deep into wisdom that is both ancient and state-of-the-art. EQ-WISE stands for emotional intelligence, balanced with wisdom, integrity, spirituality, and empathy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.